So today we're going to talk about one of the things that we experience in the home lawn and around the house in Southeast Texas that everyone hates, and that's the good old fire ant. What's the best way to control them, and how can we do it effectively, efficiently, without having to chase them around all over the yard? I'm going to give you some tips on how to best control fire ants in the home lawn. So as you go out across the yard, we often experience fire ant mounds. This is only a small portion of a fire ant colony. These colonies expand deep into the ground with tunnels, and if we could actually see a deep underground shot of this, it would be vastly larger. So how do we get rid of all the ants? So being that a fire ant colony expands deep underground, there's oftentimes that we have colonies in the yard that we don't see above the ground. They don't have a visible mound. So we need to think about that when we're looking at ways to control the colonies. So the most common thing that people do when they see ants are to use a mound treatment. There's a lot of different ones out there. This particular Surrender has the same ingredient as your ortho ant poison, acephate. It's very strong in smell, it's very potent, and it does a great job of killing ants. But it's not going to kill every aspect of the colony, and there is a chance that it's not going to kill the queen. Oftentimes, some colonies have more than one queen, so there's a lot of opportunity left here for the ants to pick up and move and relocate and start over. So what other options do we have? We can use a fire ant bait. A fire ant bait is a great way to ensure that we're getting all the ants that are across the yard, even the ones that we can't see. A lot of your baits, like this one, Andro Yard Treatment, has a unique two-way killing action, so it's going to actually kill the active ants, but it also contains a growth regulator, which will help break the life cycle of the ants reproducing, and in turn will prevent new mounds from forming. This will usually last in a warm season here for us, 3-4 months, but it's an easy, effective way. Doesn't require watering to activate. It doesn't kill by contact. But there is one important factor that we need to consider whenever we're applying a bait. We need to consider the time of day and the temperature. Fire ants don't forage when it's extremely hot outside. So when we're in the summer months, when they're the most prominent, or people are out and about and experience fire ants, the middle of the day, when it's the hottest, fire ants are not necessarily going to be foraging. A quick and easy tip to figure out whether it's a good time to apply a bait is to put out a potato chip or some type of common food that fire ants will eat. If you lay it out in the grassy area and there are fire ants actively foraging, they're going to come onto it very quickly. If you see that they're actively foraging, you can spread the bait across the whole lawn or area that you're targeting. Baits can take 1 to 2 weeks to show a full effect, but you're going to get the longest term, best results, and you're going to be able to get those fire ants that you don't actually see crested on top of the surface in the yard. One of the many reasons why we like to use a bait in our home is because we grow a lot of food, and raised beds are a great area for fire ants to become active in. We don't spread the bait in the garden because it's not safe for garden use, but we can assume that fire ants that are active in our garden area are going to pick up this bait and it will actively kill them. So remember, a mound treatment is going to give you quick effects. It's going to work very quickly, but may or may not kill the entire colony. The bait is going to provide you longer term control. It's going to be slower acting, but it will prevent future mounds if you use a product with a growth regulator. Hope these tips are helpful and they help you control fire ants in this upcoming summer season so that you can be more active outside. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for our next bit of content.